Welcome, welcome to your daily tarot card wrap up. I'm your tarot wizard for the evening, Chris. You know, it's a very mystical name, Chris. Very mystical. We hide in plain sight. That's how mysticism works. So, Chris, you know about 50 of them. So, we're gonna start the night right. I hope you're feeling right. If you're watching out there and you're wondering what is this about, you know, I'm not too sure yet either. So this is our third night in a row. We're doing it 5 nights a week. 5 nights. I hope you're at a place in your night where you're enjoying yourself and wrapping things up and kind of wondering what it's all about of today. After you're like, man, we went through it all. So you can follow along with yourself here at haveagoodeye.com. You can pull a tarot card yourself. We'll pull in tarot cards throughout the evening. These tarot cards have been around for quite some time, so about 5,000 years. I hope if you're wondering all about that. And people use them for games, but they tell a bigger story. Timothy Leary believes they tell the story of biological evolution. So these are things that matter to us now. I think these are the important things. So we're going to start introducing our tarot card generator here at haveagoodeye.com. Go ahead, click onto that site, and you follow along if you like. We've got it right over here. We're going to be playing with it. I'm sorry, I put the wrong screen here. So we're going to be playing around here. We've got our card deck. Here, pull your card here. You see that there, and our shuffler. So anytime you pull a card, you're going to want to shuffle it after you get a little fortune. So, and the devil here is just to let you know that he's along for the ride. He lets you know that he's always by your side. He is your ride or die. Christ will abandon you at any given moment. For sin, you're out of here. What are you doing with your hands? You're out of here. Devil loves you either way. And I'm not telling you to worship Satan or anything, but it's all about a construct. He's just here to welcome you, to escort you along for the ride. And no matter what faith, whether it's the Christian faith or any other faith, there's always the devil. Whether you're a good guy or a bad guy, there's always the bad guy. Well, so we're all just here for the ride. And the devil here, as you can see here, he's quite portly. Bottom half of looks like a centaur. I forget what beast that has the bird claws and but he's saying, hey, what's up? I have you. You're chained. I've got every desire you could ever want. Why would you want anything else? So he's our little escort for these journeys, these vehicles of mysticism from Chris. So for this evening, we do these for about an hour. Our intention is to wrap up the circle of the day of the evening, and we like to do that with a card. So I hope you're ready. I'm ready. Let's do this. Let's pull one of these cards. Follow along. You'll get a random card anytime. So your cards that you pull at home are not going to be the same cards we get here. So we're going to pull one card here. We're going to go for it. Thank you, devil. Let's go. The world. Here we are. We're starting really well. I've already felt like this is a great start for me. It's a great start for all of us. And what I like to do is with this card and with all of these cards, this is not a fortune. This is more about a evolution into a step into what the hell this all means anyway. You have man, eagle, lion, and ox. And they all mean love. It defines by love and the love of the eternal dance, the eternal magic, which is life, which is the world, anything, the ground that you live on. It's the awakening is the experience that all beneath your feet. I wrote these fortunes here a couple of years ago, so what I wrote here then may still apply. Let's read here. You have all the answers inside. We're going to stop there. You have all the answers. As much as we want to look to a forum, I mean, I guess if you're fixing an old truck, yes, you might want to look to a forum. You may not have the answers to fixing an old truck, but you have the answers. You know, like, what should I do with myself, with my life, with my energy? And I think all of that is true to you know, I forgot there. I got a little mixed up. I started to think about something, you know, and what we're trying to do here is we're trying to evoke spirit. We're trying to get into a flow state. We're trying to evoke the spirit from the ground, from the earth, up to the higher planes. So this is why this is mature content. No children should be ascending to the astral planes earlier on. They should have to go to work first. They have to learn minimum wages before they have to ascend. got wild first there. So you have all the answers inside. Have you ever said, well, should I do that? And you're that voice in the back of your head said, you already know, you should. And that's the answer. And whether you took that your own advice or not, it's the truth. I'm gonna adjust this microphone because I hate leaning into it. I feel like I'm gonna lean into it all the way out this way, and I'm gonna be talking to you from the back end of the microphone like this. So let's adjust this here. Let's adjust this. Adjust this mic. Adjust this mic. He ate all the chocolates. Some shit like that, or she would like that. I don't know. We allowed to curse on Twitch, right? On the Twitch. How old am I? I'm pretty old, so you don't want to. Here we go. I think we're good there. All right. In the world, so it says you have all the answers inside. You have reached attainment. I mean, attainment. I hate to break it to you. Attainment is this heavenly body, and when I say heavenly body, is this being, this body. We've been given the gift beyond any animal on this plane. We have a far greater ability to truly and that's what happens. We forget. We can really keep going with our minds, but we forget, and we have reached attainment. If you are a human today, you're wondering, how do I reach Zen? Stop doing everything. Stop doing everything. That's how you achieve Zen. That's straight up. It's the hardest thing you can ever. Well, as soon as you stop doing anything, your mind's goes, well, I have one other thing what I should do. No, you stop doing everything. And this is the biggest problem with the spiritual community's advice to the modern world, and it has been giving this advice to them for quite some time. The modern capitalist world does not understand the construct of stop. That's not what it's founded on. So when it comes down to the world and everything and all, I wrote here, love is the only answer, regardless of the question. So if you're wondering what to do about anything in this world, first of all, throw a lens of love on it. Do it. See how that changes everything. It's the love. If you actually love that person, would you? Oh man, love is regardless of the question. If we had those moments in life where we could stop and engage our life and go, and treat it with love, how would we change the world? I'd like to think of, we should have a purge day, but if this one day you're allowed to follow the will of love. So at any given moment, you're allowed to stop. You're allowed to stop what you're doing and go serve your man, an animal, whatever it is, to actually fulfill that query that is usually pushed on by someone. You're going to be late for something. So that's usually what happens. Oh, I have to go somewhere to go. I have somewhere to be. You can't tell me. Here's $5. Get away from me. Imagine if you could go, hold on, what do you need? What can I get for you? Actually, that's quite attainable here. And how would that change the course of the entire world if one day we were allowed to stop and do these things? So I like to ask these questions. I asked a lot of hard questions, a lot of dumb questions too, but a lot of hard ones and a lot of weird, funky ones too that I think deserve an answer. So this is what the first world card means, and this is a great opening card. We had a lot of other cards that I thought were great, and I think every single card we've had yet is always a great card for opening, and it's funny. They've all been different. They've all been the perfect card. Isn't that funny? Isn't it funny how you always wake up to the awareness of a perfection, and then something gets in the way, like, oh, I work or blah, 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 and something. I piss the bed, what happens to me. I mean, I don't know about you, but perfection lies at every moment. It's the external world that interjects. It's, but, have you considered clipping? But this is fun. I'm having a good time. I hope you're having a good time. This is something I think everyone should deserve doing. We're going to be working on a lot of different fun content. This is just the beginning of what we're all doing here. So I hope this is informative and fun and everything else, and I hope that it actually archives well. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So we're going to move on to that second card. How about that? What do you think about that, guys? I'm going to shuffle it up. Shuffle that deck. Take a sip of our elixir of life. I'm going to pull our second card. So we have the world. Now, if we can imagine the world up here, this little area here, we're going to lay out a spread across the screen here. And the world is just the beginning of where we're at. Try to get to 5 cards. We'll probably do 3, but 5 is probably where we'll go. And on that note, let's pull that second card. Hopefully our shuffle works. Let's see. Yes, it did. 2 wands. I always love this card. This is a beautiful card. There's a lot to discover in this card. Lots of nuances that I love about the tarot deck that a lot of people just glaze over, or they just want to make their own version, because that's what it's about. It's making your own version of life. Because as you wake up, or when I say wake up, you come into awareness. We come into awareness every day. We come into awareness in our birth. We come into awareness every day. We get birthed every day. And we're given opportunities to alter our own truths every day. And this is what this card's about. Excuse me. There is new opportunity waiting for you. In your hands is the key. Let experience and intuition be your guide. So, it being the 2 of Wands, it's still a young card, a very young perspective. So don't let the youthful ideology of this perspective talk you out of taking on an adventure. The youngest of ideas lead to the biggest of discoveries. It's the idea that you push forward. Now, this man here, he's caped, he's cloaked. I mean, he's quite, conservative, but he's got the world in his hands, meaning he's able to, while conservatively objectify the world. This is another unfortunate side of it, because under this guild here, this is where the tarot card tells you a huge story, some of the biggest stories ever. Because on a flip side, someone with this security wants to take over the world, becomes a white supremacist. And we're not even going to get into those notes, because that is a spicy topic. We're trying to keep things mystical. We're going to work on some political stories and some political shows for you. But this shows we're gonna stay mystical. So go back to our mystical side. Oh. Anyway, here we are. We're back to the mystical side. He's got it's a young idea to take on to adventure. Because out there is just a gray, mystical land, a land of mystery. Everything here, he's quite secure. You can see the nuances of some of these cars here are so great because you could tell he's protected by a castle. Look at this castle piers. Spires. Man. The long cape. His hat from Good Burger. It's all indications he's of higher class. So he's going to take on the world. And that is great. It's a great idea. But as you can see, not everyone should be taking on the world. I hope anybody out there who's looking on to take on new projects, take on new things, to start one letter at a time. Because it takes a lot to build. And I don't even think about viewers, followers, likes, or any of that. Just think about there's a soul, there's a thing deep down in here that's trying to tell the story of what you want to tell. And let that speak. Step away and let that speak. So we're out here to, we're still doing this 5 nights a week. And what we'll try to do is make this insightful on the archival front, so you can go to the YouTube. You can follow along anywhere you are. And away we go with our third card for the night. Yesterday we did like 7 cards and I was like a drone. It was terrible. It was an awful show. Shuffle it up. So, as I see it here, all our good work is worth showing off. Now, I can't tell what's happening in this card. I can't tell what they're showing off. But I like to think, and it's a lot, but before we get into any fortune telling, I like to think that this guy here, I'd like to think that he came in and asked these fine tailors to show them off of his favorite. Show me your favorite, your finest shirt. Actually, I know what he's doing now. Never mind. I think it's this bench here, right here, is what confused me. See this bench? For some reason, I always thought he was a tailor because of her head-to-toe garb. But I believe she is more of a magistrate or some sort of kind of a priestess. And I can't tell you, she's showing him plans for the archway. And he's the archman. And he put a little artistic flair with his stars up here. And this guy here, he's bald. He might be shaving his own head. He's a monk. This is like his own. Imagine being a really petty monk who's very critical. A critical monk. And he's like, oh, I don't trust that Mason you brought in here. Oh, I didn't trust him at all. I think he's going to be fine. He's going to craft us here. He's going to make it look just like the picture. And I don't trust him. He's standing on the bench. And I think this Mason's kind of drunk. And that's why he's on the bench. And they're like, oh, but it doesn't look like the picture. Anyway. We're derailing here. I'm derailing. But it says the work you are most proud of finally paying off. So this guy's noting, it does look like this guy's great. Even if he does stand on the bench. And others are going to be coming around going, hey, how did you put those stars up there? How did you get so good? How'd you make it nice like that? How'd you make it nice? How did you make it nice? So, you're off to a great start. This is what that card is. It re-answers the story that we're talking about here. This very moment. This judgment that we're doing right now. There's nobody watching any of this, which is great, because I can really let loose my goose. And hopefully one of these days, somebody will come around and they'll watch the whole show. They'll watch the whole thing and go, that was weird, that was fun, I enjoyed it. So if you're here, if you're one of those people, if you are, kudos to you. I love you. So we're going to move on. I love this work here. If you're wondering about the sounds that you're hearing, it's brought to you by asoftmurmur.com, where you got all the sounds, all the noises. So I love our singing bowls. I mix a little singing bowls with a little bit of fire. I should put a little bit more fire. And then you can add all you want. Ooh, excuse me. So, because there's nobody here, sometimes there's crickets. Sometimes those crickets go away. You know why? Because there's a coffee shop bustling. Terrible. I don't like busy coffee shops. So I go to coffee shops so they're not fucking busy. Flippin' busy. So I like to sometimes mix a little bit of thunder. The thunder. Lightning. The thunder. Because I have a 5-year-old who loves that song. And a singing bowl. So I put a little thunder and singing bowl. A singing bowl's nice. And then it does this if you're patient. Not only if you're patient, it does this little kind of like Mandalorian, like, ooh. Yeah, it does it. Just like that. It's cool. You gotta listen. So we're going to pull down the thunder, so you can hear them chiming bullseye. And we're going to keep going. We're going to pull another card for our daily. We hit the halfway point, guys. This is great. I haven't even needed a break. I haven't even stopped talking. And I say guys, meaning there's nobody even on this feed, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can talk to myself in my brain for like 2 hours. Wait, here comes that Mandalorian sound. Maybe not. Anyway, so let's pull another card. We're rolling right outside halfway point. I've done this. This is great. This is the third night in a row. I think Twitch loves this. I love this. I'm having a good time. This beats playing like, I don't know, Assassin's Creed all night. I mean, maybe. Maybe you really like Assassin's Creed. I mean, I'm not going to hate on you of that, but that's cool for you. I liked it too. I thought I was learning history until I realized it was all made up. So, let's hit another card. Oh, that's the same one. See? Luckily, we have a shuffle card, a shuffle button. Come down here, hit that shuffle button in the button. Shuffle it up. See, it goes, it shuffled. All right, now we're ready to hit that card again. Oh, Hangman. This is a beautiful card. I love this card. It always spoke to me in just an instant, in a very instant. Because he seems so proud of himself. He seems so happy to be upside down. And everybody knows that Joker who's always like doing something obviously out of his way to be a clown. But in this case, I think he was hung. He was actually strung up because he was kind of a jerk. I think that's what this initial card meant. But he became enlightened in that moment. Bye, Hangman. because he's swinging from the gallows pole. This is how they used to hang people, upside down. They torture them. And then they hung them upright to kill them. You know, this is just a torture. Because when they hung them up, and back here shows they would actually tie their hands behind their back and make you do the figure four, I guess because they were really for it. But what I wrote a few years back, it says sometimes all you need is a new perspective, is to see the light, dare to be different. See, this guy dared to be different, and then he was hung up by his feet for it. And then he realized that being an asshole wasn't the best idea, so he became enlightened. So there's a lot of different ways to perceive these cards. So as fun as it can be, and joyful, and hooray, hurrah, sometimes you're hanging upside down because you're an asshole, and someone, man, you got spanked. Please acknowledge this spanking. And acknowledge the spanking and keep going with it. Someone just ting me. Hold on. Excuse me. Got you on this. He wants to know when P&A dad hats are coming out. I had dad hats, dad hats, dude hats. I'm gonna tell him I got you. Hold on, I'll get to you later. You're interrupting my feed. Anyway. Hangman, so swinging from the gallows pole. And if you ever notice, it's a T, because truth always hangs the wacky. And sometimes the wacky can be the truth. That's what's weird about it. So we're going to switch around in the down. Woot. All right, we're going to keep it going and jiggle it up. Jiggle it up. So shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. No, we already had this one. Come on, guys. Let's I kind of shuffled it. Unfortunately, the side about randomness. There we go. Seven of Cups. This is one of my favorite cards because it showcases so much. This guy here, he is all about it all. Much like all of us are. We're all about it all. We want to do it all. We want to get involved with this. We want to get involved with magic. We want to get involved with material. We want to get involved with the immaterial. We want to get involved with alchemy. We want to get involved with materialism. And we can't, we have, what happens once we get involved with all these things, we start to become a walking paradox, and you don't know where. You have more and more. The more you know, the more questions you have. Is what happens. So, what I wrote here, it was many paths lay before you. Don't get lost in the fantasy of taking them all. Dream big and hard, but work even harder to make one of those paths your reality. Now, this one here, he's got, I could be a grand castelier, whatever that word means. A creep who lives in a castle far away and rules the land, and nobody likes him because he lives in this big giant spire of a castle. You could be a chemistry master. You could understand the chemical motions of life and truly mystify the world. You could be a man of nobility and honor. But see here what happens with that? Look at that. That does not perhaps look like a skull on purpose. Because nobility is a judgment. How about that? They knew that. But still, it's a path. You could be, this part here is to take on the worst fears you could be challenging your fears consistently. And I'm not saying jumping out of planes and climbing Mount Everest to withstand all the cold. That's not extreme. You're a fucking asshole. That's what that is. You climb a mountain to survive and you go to these sporting goods stores to buy all the stuff. You're a fucking dick. That's what you are. So right here on this one, you'll see that this is to chase, not to chase to, but to find a world in the other, to constantly be mystified by the other and the beauty of others, and to constantly. And this is why it's kind of there's no gender to this being, because the other is a beautiful creature with just hair and just a very prolific being, and to be constantly in pursuit. This one. These are all the pursuits of life. You really can't be much more than this. So sometimes you might want to combine a little mix of this, or that. You can't but be much more than that. This is here. You are a physical entity that is people acknowledge for your tricks, for your performance, whether you're a musician, artist, illustrator, anybody, somebody of major influence who vibrates and glows under, which is always the snake being absolved. Like, ooh, how are they always there? Which is somebody who's always kind of like copying them, but kind of like always, kind of copying them. Yeah, just basically doing what they do, but they're the snake version. And I hate to say it, this is what people want to be. Most people follow this guy right here. Most pop celebrities are this. This is where the pop celebrity world lives, right here. You think it's this. Nope. Right here. You're a snake act following true integrity, true artistic value, but exploiting the real idea of integrity. You snake. So yeah, this is what I love this card about. It's a beautiful card, and I got a couple of other decks here. Let's pull that. It's time to pull a real card. We're rolling over the half. What I love about this deck, everything has been, coded for you. Front hand, but now this deck on this one is flipped. So you might be seeing from behind this man what that person sees, or you might be seeing from behind the this object here. I forget what this card looks like in this deck, to tell you the truth. But we're gonna pull this card because this deck is the most magical deck in my land. So. Yeah, this is the Six of Swords. Now, normally you see the back of all of these people. But in this deck, you see the front of them. It still represents the same meaning, but it gives the tarot wizard a new perspective to instantly use. You see the boy's face, you see his query, his wandering, It also shows a little bit of a different story as well, in this card in particular. This card is quite known to be a rescue card, but this is also a card of wise supervision, a grand steward. Because not everybody's given the parental units we need. And sometimes a grand steward will show themselves in their lives in a way that's unique, can't be accounted for. So it scares a lot of everybody. And it's usually a cloaked hooded figure that everyone has a problem with, because that cloaked hooded figure's existence was hidden from the universe until it was needed to be a steward. And on this deck and this card, it shows a hooded figure taking a small child away to a hard-working gondola man. See, this gondola man, he's a part of it too, and that's a part of who we all are. We are all of these characters. This card means something special to me today too, but that's not what this show's about. We have a few more minutes before we wrap it up. We wrap it up about 15. We wrap it up about 10:30, so we got about 15 minutes before we shut it down. No one signed on to the feed today. No one randomly passed by. I've been told, I've been annoyed. No, there we go. Announced that there is one viewer, but that might just be my own computer. But that's okay. That is quite okay. I hope that this microphone is worth. Yesterday, we did the whole thing. No microphone. Not a lick of auditory. Nope, nothing, none of this. So, as we move on, let's pull the last card for the evening. Well, it may be the last card, depending on how fast we go. Oh, there it goes. There's that Mandalorian sound. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Anyway, here we go. Last card of the evening shall be... How beautiful the Fool. Now, if I can remember what cards we had, which I can't, it was the World. Three of Pentacles. I forget. This is hard. Seven of Cups. This is so hard sometimes. It's just, oof. So the Fool, I love the Fool. Everybody loves the Fool. This dog, he loves the Fool. The waves are crashing, the sun is shining. Flowers in his hands. He's got an Aldi bag on a stick. It's great. He has had up. He's ready to jump off the cliff. This is a great card to end with. I think it's becoming... These cards pretty much tell the story of how these feeds go. I mean, I can't tell you any otherwise. I've been here. No one else has been here for all four of these feeds or three of these feeds. But this is quite a prolific card. It's paradigized quite a lot of times. You'll see this image many times, and it's on Etsy. Etsy loves this. Pinterest, of course. He's got flowers on his we're talking about pure oblivion in the mind. And to sum it all up, I had a lot of fun. That's what these cards are about, is what these messages. I could be playing video games, but I'm not. This is what's fun to me. And the dog, I believe, is so much symbolic than anything else. Is that he's at peace, so much that he's given the creatures room to evolve around him. And I'm not talking other humans. We're talking creatures of another species have acknowledged that the way to be, and they are evolving in their own way. So the Fool really does it for me. And sometimes I get moved by these cards after going through all of this, and it's amazing what sometimes the tarot card deck can do. Just when you understand all of the nuances and the things that it bring up. My favorite thing about this card might be the period right here. It ends it all. It gives you a pure understanding of what this image is, the Fool. I mean, of course, the dog, the Aldi's bag, the flowers on his, all he's got, doesn't care. The Oblivion. I mean, we all love Oblivion. The super radiant sun. That's how they could draw radiant suns back then. Like a 5-year-old. But this here, just to me, defines it all. Much like Madonna's face, that mole, that period there, the Fool. I find it, out of all the things here, this is what I love about it. What I also too love about this, it also shows about where his place the Fool falls in the card deck, meaning the absolute zero, absolute. I'm not sure if you understand about absolute zero, meaning it is the chaos of the beginning or the fuck it all at the end. That is what absolute zero it really defines. Everything and nothing at the same time. And the thunderstorms hit me right there. That thunder boom, boom, boom. I think we got enough room for another card. I think we do. We do. Let's hit that shuffle. Shuffle, shuffle. Last time we had a time for reflection. We don't have any time for that. We're just going to get it going. Somebody should be writing this shit down about what cards come in a row. 3 of Wands. Yep. It's the perfect time to be pulling that card because this will probably be our last card. Because we had the 2 of Wands. And if you remember the 2 of Wands, that was that card I forgot. Yeah, the 2 of Wands. If you remember him, he was observing the world. Now, he's out past the castle. He earned an extra wand. He still has to hold it up. He's earned a little bit of extra robbery. And his whole idea of conquering the world is either happening or happening. When I say that, because this card depicts two different things. This card depicts a man watching his fleet depart. And there's a lot of irresponsibility when a man has a fleet depart. This also shows a man watching a fleet arrive, it could be foreign fleet. He has no idea who these people are. He may not. He could be just discovering what it means to be conquered or to be visited by, foreign entities. So there's a lot of deep things that come along with this when it comes to progress and treading and being treaded upon. It's I wrote here, progress is being made even if you don't notice it firsthand. Good things are developing with a solid foundation to build on. Now, if it was flipped, it would be that level of a solid foundation that was forced upon you. Not the same as building a solid foundation to build what is necessary. So much meaning behind a man on a cliff, 3 sticks and 3 boats. Because that's what can be easily seen here, but it's more. There's more going on. I also believe these things here represent truth. See the truth? And the more sticks you have in the game, the more truth you've acknowledged. And sometimes I feel like I'm talking for hours, and it's only 2 minutes. That's quite the energy exchange. So I think we're going to wrap it up early, because I don't have any more energy to deal with another card. I'm fading. With our daily tarot wrap-up. This was quite fun, quite actually cohesive. You might even enjoy watching this in the post. I hope we even got some audio, hopefully, maybe. Hope we got this mic working. But until then, we're going to shut down the deck. We're going to acknowledge here, and we're going to fade out and have a lovely evening.